Hello and welcome back once again to Jacob's Toys. Please do like, share, subscribe and all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. We are once again taking a look at the Sonic 3 action figure line from Jakks Pacific. As you can see, I'm still missing Knuckles, but hey, I've got Super Sonic, Shadow, Sonic and of course Tails. And in this video we are going to take a look at Sonic's best friend, Tails. Now, Tails is cool. He was first introduced back in 1992 as Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and if you're of that era, you remember the hype of Sonic 2, and you remember the hype of there being like another character on the front of the box, and there was just something really cool about Tails. So having him included in the movies, I think he's kind of delivered perfectly in the movies for kind of how he was represented in the games. So being able to add an action figure to the collection of Tails is very exciting. This one has 20 points of articulation as opposed to the 22 points of articulation in the Sonic figure, but still 2 points of articulation difference, not a huge amount. I'm going to try to figure out what those 2 points difference are because I can't figure out where they are. And Tails does have some extra points of articulation in his tail, so I would have thought he would have had more, but he's actually got less. But either way. As I said, Tails was introduced in 1992, and while I'm getting him out of the box, a little bit of trivia for you. Miles Tails Prowler is obviously the name of the character, Miles Tails Prowler. A lot of people just know him as Tails, but his actual name was created as a pun on miles per hour. So Miles Prowler, miles per hour. Whereas a lot of people just know him as Tails. But there you go. Miles Tails Prowler is a pun of miles per hour, which I thought was a really fun fact when I learned that. But here he is. Here's Tails. Now, once again, like I said, these figures from Jakks Pacific are a really nice representation of the characters in the film. They have got some brilliant sculpting. They have got some really nice paint applications. And the really nice detail about them, I think, is the way that the eyes are done. They've got that kind of glossy glass eye that's kind of sunken into the head. So they look a lot more kind of movie accurate than if it was just painted on. This one is really in the box quite tight, so let me just speed up the video very quickly and get him out. So here we go, real quick time lapse, getting him out. He is in that box tight, so there we go. He is free. He's free from his plastic prison. Now, I'm an out-of-box collector. I don't keep any of my figures in boxes, so these aren't any different. Now, as I've said on previous videos, these are pretty much in scale with each other apart from the Robotnik figure. The Robotnik figure comes in the same size packaging, so he is the same size as Sonic and Tails and Shadow, etc. And in the kind of vein of size, Tails is probably a little bit bigger than he should be in comparison to his kind of comparison to Sonic, but he's still a little bit shorter, so he's still short enough that it kind of works. But I think in the film he's a little bit smaller maybe than he is here. Now, the first problem I found with him is that he's very heavy, like back heavy. So because of these tails, he does tend to kind of fall backwards if you're trying to stand him up in the standard kind of tails pose. So for the meantime, I'm going to kind of flip the tails around. But as you can see, he just looks like he's straight out of the movie stroke game. Now, the reason I chose to put these in my collection as my representation of Sonic is that I did really enjoy the movies. I've enjoyed all three of the Sonic films, and as a big player of the Mega Drive as a kid and the Sonic games, it just kind of made sense to kind of use these as my representation because I think they represent the Sonic games close enough, but then obviously represent the films as well. So yeah, these are made to be played with, but at the same token, they are also made for collectors because they have so much articulation. They are a little bit more delicate in places, and you have got to be a little bit careful when you're kind of moving arms around and legs around and stuff like that. But if you're an action figure collector and a fan of Sonic, then these are definitely the ones to pick up. They are very affordable in comparison to some other figures. They retail at about £15 over here in the UK. You can pick them up at places like Smith's and Amazon and stuff, and they're pretty readily available. There's quite a few in the actual range, but I just went for the main kind of setup. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all those things. I'll see you soon.